Well, it's working right now for the Eagles and Jihaad Campbell. I'll tell you that much. He's graded out real high,
Yeah.
John.
Well, and he was there, and the worst part for the rest of the league, he was there week 1.
I know.
He was there day 1 of training camp.
John, I'm going to move into a topic here on the Eagles rookies, all right, and specifically on one player, Jihaad Campbell. And I want to kind of lay out one, how good Jihaad Campbell's been, and then what kind of how this linebacker room might evolve through the next couple of weeks. All right, Jihaad Campbell, John, it came down. PFF put out their top 15 NFL rookies through week 2. All right, number 2 on the list was Jihaad Campbell, second to only Jackson Hawes, the rookie tight end with the Buffalo Bills, who I think is getting a lot of his grade as a run blocker, which is fine, but a run blocking tight end there, Jackson Hawes. And then you have Jihaad Campbell, graded out at an 83.7, a pleasant surprise, John, for the Birds to have another rookie performing at this high of a level. And boy, he looks like he could be a great player in this league, John. Only a couple games into his career, he already looks damn good, John.
Yeah, now this is where I'll rip the rest of the NFL. I wrote about this. Like, I can't believe the short-sighted thinking of this league. And I'm talking about the worst case scenario. So, I mean, we all know Vic had said he was told by the training staff he wouldn't be back till August. There was concern he wouldn't be able to play week 1 and he might have to start the season on PUP and miss some games because he had March labrum surgery. And this is the reason he fell to the Eagles at 31. They traded up one spot. They tried to trade up to 22. They started to try to trade up at 22. So they were willing to take him that high. And some people, I saw one report that said even higher. I have not. I confirmed 22. So they were on Jihaad Campbell, and everybody else is like, oh, how can we take Jihaad Campbell? He might not be ready to play. Again, I say, who gives a shit? If you hadn't seen Jihaad Campbell yet, very similar to Cooper DeJean last year. Remember, Cooper didn't play until week 6. Were you happy with Cooper? Like, and again, I'm talking about organizations.
It almost feels like how the hell do you think like that if you're an organization?
That's my point. And the answer is simple. Other GMs don't have leashes. So they need to prove themselves always in the immediate fashion. So really the big problem is ownership. Because if you believe in a guy, you have to give him a leash to do some things. Because if you're constantly GMing for your job, you're going to make shitty decisions. Say, well, I know this guy's better, but I need this guy because I need somebody to play right away because I got to keep my job. I mean, that is the worst way to go about any profession, but that's pro sports. The Eagles are rare. And Howie gets to make these decisions, and Howie knows if it doesn't work out, he's not going to be run out on a rail.
Right.
Now, he hates when you bring this up. He likes to say he's not on scholarship, but guess what, Howie? You are on scholarship. And
Howie's earned that to some extent.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying acknowledge it because that's one of the big. I'm just saying it's one of the big advantages he has over his peers. The biggest.
Yeah. It's good ownership, John, but it's also good GMing because most owners might look at their GM and they might not think that they're going to get better. You know what I mean? Like a Howie, I think you can honestly look and say, at the very least, Howie will try and get better every time he makes a wrong move. I don't know if other owners have confidence in their GMs. Like, for example,
well, that's another thing.
You were tough on Ryan Poles, and it's like, hey, maybe they already given him a contract extension, so it's probably not a good example. But I'm just saying, other owners might look at a GM like that and be like, all right, he hasn't been great, and I don't really see him improving or trying to fix the mistakes he made. I'm going to blow him out.
Well, that's the second part of it, and yeah, Ryan still stinks. Don't get that conflated.
I
But
know you're not a Ryan Paul.
the second part of that equation is they're also don't feel the ability to move on from mistakes. That's why they hang on to first round picks longer than they should. That's why they hang on. Like, how many teams would have signed Bryce Hupp to that contract last year? No, they would have stuck him on the back, even if they're not going to play him. The vast majority of teams would have stuck him on the back end of the roster until after this year and then moved on. And Howie's like, no, Vic doesn't like him. We're going to move on. And I'm going to figure it out. So it works both ways. On both ends, he's got a big advantage because he's allowed to point out, essentially, when you do something like that, you highlight, we made a mistake. And the quickest way to fix a mistake is by admitting a mistake. But other guys don't feel comfortable admitting a mistake. So they say, like, you watch with JJ McCarthy. That kid is going to be an albatross on that franchise for 2-3 years.
I know.
And that was a terrible. And I don't like to be in pain. Look, he's shooting nothing to the point where you say, all right, there's a lot, there's this, there's that. Carson Wentz got a chance to take that job. That's how bad it's been.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't think he will, because I don't think Carson has that much left. But you made that. Now they made a bunch of bad decisions because they had a bunch of good but not great quarterbacks in the organization, and they misevaluated. They're going to double down. It's just the worst case scenario. So it works both ways for the Eagles. They can afford to take chance, and they don't always work. They did it with Sidney Jones, top 15 talent who tore his Achilles at his pro day, and they said, we'll wait. Didn't work. So it doesn't always work.
Well, it's working right now for the Eagles and Jihaad Campbell. I'll tell you that much. He's graded out real high.
Yeah.
John.
Well, and he was there, and the worst part for the rest of the league, he was there week 1.
I know.
He was there day 1 of training camp.
It didn't even happen the way they thought it would happen. John, I'm going to give you some of the grades real quick on Campbell. Overall grade is 83 point. Again, only 2 weeks. I understand that. All right, 13th out of 111 linebackers on the overall grade. The thing that stands out the most, John, how about his coverage grade right now? 88.3. He's 7th out of 111 graded linebackers. And we always talk about coverage and linebackers. Jihaad Campbell is off to a very good start, Johnny Mac, especially in coverage and just as a versatile linebacker. I think he's he's got Vic foaming out the mouth though, with him and Bond out there, man. Both playing good right now.
Yeah, because the rep, and that tells you about rep. Yeah, and is the one thing that hasn't been great is his pass rushing grade.
Yeah, right.
Which was and that's what everybody's like, oh, he's going to be a big pass rusher, and all of a sudden, he's doing some things in coverage with his length, and he's running down the field in Tampa too, running the pole. He's doing everything in coverage, but he looks like he's a work in progress, to be kind, on the pass rush.
Which I don't think is a big deal. I mean, he's a linebacker. Right now he's playing off-ball linebacker. You know what I mean? I think that's a process that takes time for edge rushers.
Well, that's another thing. I mean, he they're already starting to use him in different ways. Of his snaps, and where, again, it's a very small sample size, but 87 of them have been an off-ball linebacker. 19 of them have been as an edge defender. So that's pretty significant.
Yeah.
And 6 in the slot. So, normally when teams are spread out, you're going to have a linebacker in the slot. And then even he's been wide twice. So essentially playing cornerback. So you hear about some of these people around the league that play all over the place. And that was the envision, that he's going to be a hybrid player. So he's already, and you saw him drop down a lot in Kansas City to go to 5-man front. So they come out in their 4-man front, and then they drop Jihaad Campbell down on the edge and change it to the 5-man front. He's already done that a bunch of times, and that's only going to continue as he gets better at it. But yeah, very unique, very versatile, very long, obviously very athletic. And if he does get the pass rushing part of it down, look out, man.
Yeah.
Look out.
No doubt.
And the rest of the league should be ashamed to allow this type of talent to the reigning Super Bowl champions. Ashamed of themselves.
Yep, no doubt. Jihaad Campbell leads rookie linebackers in PFF run defense grade. All right, so he's playing great football right now. John, now this is I think where I'm wondering, fans are wondering what's going to happen here. Is this as simple as Jihaad Campbell's here, Nakobe Dean ain't coming back on the field, or is Nakobe, who posted up on Instagram, doesn't mean he's going to be right, but let's just use it for now that he's going to be right, returns in week 5. Maybe it's a little later. Whenever Nakobe Dean returns this year, do they put him at the mic and switch up the role for Bond and Campbell? How do you think they play this when all three are healthy? When all three are healthy, I think you got one of the best linebacker rooms in all of football. I think you might already have one of the better linebacker rooms in football. But when Nakobe comes back, you get a player that was playing really good. We'll see how he plays off that injury. That's a big injury. But how do you think it changes, or is it kind of just, look, Jihaad's playing too good, Nakobe's not going to get on the field? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, if Jihaad keeps playing like this, yeah. Nakobe is SOL, as they say. Yeah, I mean, now a lot of things happen. Somebody might get hurt. Somebody, tons of things can happen. And again, just because a player says it doesn't mean he's going to be back in week 5. Could take longer. If they continue to play the way they're playing, and obviously Zach is, I think we should all, Vic said, stop asking about Morrow. He's a good player. I think people should stop asking even more so about Zach Vaughn and say, was it an anomaly? No, it wasn't. He's damn good.
He's a good player, right?